When I started my career as a young prosecutor in Houston, Texas, I could have never imagined the impact of cold justice. Y'all sweating yet?
Just a little.
We have filmed 121 episodes in 28 different states. Working with local law enforcement, we've helped secure 60 arrests.
You are under arrest for the murder of Albert Pender.
You're under arrest.
And 25 convictions.
Judge Jill Falstead delivered a guilty verdict.
Tonight, on a very special episode of Cold Justice, we're going to update y'all on over a dozen cases from the show. Plus, I'm going to sit down with the investigators and the families to get their insight on where their cases stand today. What part of the trial was the roughest?
Seeing the pictures, to see my mom laying in a ditch, is mind-boggling.
We've also got an inside look at what it takes to make cold justice, and for the first time, my family's going to be joining me to discuss what they think about all this.
It's not just a show. You truly are helping people.
We've got lots of updates, insight, and fan questions to answer, so let's get started. I can't believe it's been 7 years since we first worked with Captain Terry Hook. I can still remember how snowy and cold it was working that case in Oneida County, Wisconsin, and how terribly tragic that case was. When I first called Captain Terry Hook, Steve, she almost started crying. She was so excited that we were going to come help him.
Barbara was such a nice church-going lady. She winds up getting murdered on a credit union.
Closing up all by herself that day. On April the 28th, 1992, Barbara Mendez was closing up the bank where she worked when she was attacked, bludgeoned to death with an unknown weapon. While some cash was stolen, her daughters, Christy and Dawn, suspected their father, Bob Mendez, was responsible.
It was always, we need to make sure our stories are straight, that they're all the same.
Who's telling you that?
Our dad.
Barbara and Bob had an unhappy marriage,
During church services, they wouldn't even sit by each other.
and he had been sexually assaulting his daughter's 14-year-old friend Jody, with promises of starting a new life together. She had initially alibied Bob for that night, claiming they were on the phone at the time of the murder. After examining the crime scene, it was clear the robbery had been staged, but it was Jody who broke the case wide open. We're so excited to talk to you, bravely revealing she had been coached by Bob in the past and could not alibi him for the time of the crime.
I lied. I gave him an alibi. I knew for a fact I didn't talk to him on the phone that night.
Robin Mendez, we're going to take you into custody for the murder of your wife.
Bob was taken into custody, and his daughters got the bittersweet news they had known in their hearts for 26 years. Since the episode aired, a lot has happened. Bob Mendez was sentenced to life in prison by a judge.
Mendez had no expression on his face as Judge Jill Falstead delivered a guilty verdict.
I think all of us really appreciate all that Captain Terry Hook did and all that Barbara's families lived through. Terry, Christy, and Amber, come on out here. It's so good to see y'all.
Hello.
How are you? Good. How are you? So beautiful. Good. And it's nice to meet you.
Thank you
For coming and bringing her with you. Yes. Wow. I remember the day that they brought your dad in after he was arrested, and I think Terry really thought that maybe he would waive his rights and confess and feel bad after all those years. I was sitting there going, never gonna happen, but what did you think that day when y'all brought him in? Because I know you kind of had your hopes up.
We did have our hopes up that we would get a confession, but you know, Kelly, when they put him in the cell block, he got put in with 2 inmates, and they started giving him a hard time. He's like, I'm in here for murdering my wife, and he started giving them details that we didn't even have, Kelly. I was totally shocked. They said to us, if this was just about some man who killed his wife, we wouldn't care, but he's a sex offender, and we don't like sex offenders.
Wow.
And so they corroborated a lot of the information that we had. They testified and
They
gave
testified
that
in the
information.
trial?
Yes.
No, you can't make this
You
up, right?
can't.
So during the trial, what was the hardest part about when you testified?
being in front of my father.
So you get up there on the stand and you turn and you look at him.
I sure did.
Okay, and what was that like?
He did not look happy with me.
And how'd you internalize that when it was happening?
I remember thinking, you're the one who put yourself in this chair, not me. He started his sentence in 2018 with the arrest, and he passed away last May.
When you heard that he'd passed away in prison, what'd that do to you? What'd you think?
as his child, there's always a dichotomy. On one hand, I wish restoration could have happened, right? There's always a longing. But at some point, you realize it's just probably impossible. On the other hand, there's a relief that there's no fear that he'll be out.
Right.
But it's not just about me or my direct family. There are so many victims. So many people were impacted by the choice he made to murder my mother. Like,
Right.
my daughter has never met him, but nor has she met her grandma. I'm grateful she didn't meet him, but, it breaks my heart that, my mom would have loved her,
Yeah.
So the ripple effect is just really big.
Yeah, there's generational trauma too. Like, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about all these people that I love so much that were directly impacted by this. And it's like, how can I trust people? Like, I have two of my own daughters, and I'm constantly, it's always in the back of my head thinking about, like, what if there's another out there?
I remember when I read Terry's case file, and I remember when I got through reading it, thinking to myself, the key to solving this case is Jody. She's the key to everything. Talk about Jody and what's gone on with her since all this started.
So when I walked into that room with you and I met Jody that first time, gosh, I'm sorry. Wow. I just saw such a strong woman that had been through a lot. And then I was asking her to go through it again with us.
And she did it right away.
She did. She did for the girls.
How did she do in the trial?
Amazing.
Yeah?
Amazing. Amazing. But when I left that room, I thought to myself as I drove back home, that's someone I really want to know. That's someone I really want to be friends with. So I waited till the trial was done. And so we got together and we had lunch, and then now we're best friends.
Wow. Christy, so when you're sitting in the courtroom and Jody, who was your childhood friend, what was that like watching that testimony? And since then, how's it been with you and Jody?
She labeled sister from another mister.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that.
So Dawn, my sister, and Jody, he took the innocence of that relationship. He took it, he ripped it apart. He forced our separation. We were kids.
I know.
And we were able to come back together, and now we're stronger than ever.
Would you say that you feel like you got justice?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Good.
Having justice on earth does matter.
What would you say to families out there who are still looking for their justice and thinking that no one cares about their case?
That I felt that way for a long time. I was surprised to find out that I had a voice. I went to law enforcement and they listened. They wanted to hear from me. In fact, they were thrilled to hear that I wanted to talk to them again.
Wow.
So that's how the second phase of the investigation began, was because I initiated that with them.
Thank y'all. Thank you for coming and talking about all this.
Thank you.
And we really appreciate what you do, Kelly, too, because I just didn't know how to start. And then you kind of showed me how to get it going. And then after that, it all made sense. And then when we put the case together for trial, it was like, okay, it's just like Kelly said, just, put the pieces together, and it worked that way.
And
Well,
you
and
did
it's
it.
like that ripple effect too, just what you did. Like, all these people have now, like I said, started that process of healing.
I think the ripple's never stopping from the law enforcement part. Everything that we did, that we learned, that we teach out there, it just keeps on going, right? Thank y'all for coming. Thank you so much. Coming up.
You and I have had our differences. There's
Heated
no question.
moments.
Heated moments. People think that that's fake.
They thought we were faking
They
it.
thought we were faking it.
Or that we
I
were
saw
really
it.
mad at each other.
I was mad at you for a minute.
And later,
Once I got off the stand, I didn't even know that I could do as good as I did. I just felt like it was my mom just talking through me. That's when I felt like, yeah, everything is gonna be good.
here are some more cold justice case updates.
She had 33 cuts to her body. Absolutely brutal.
Who would hate her that much to want to kill her in such a horrible way? In Vigo County, Indiana, we helped solve the 1998 murder of teenager Erica Case, who was house sitting when brutally stabbed over 30 times.
Mackey's got a whole entire criminal history.
Her killer, Clint Mackey, later confessed
I walked in the house, I grabbed the knife,
I walked right over and I killed her.
and was sentenced to 40 years in prison. In 2019, he committed suicide while serving that sentence. Back in 2018, we helped the Hernando County Sheriff's Department solve the murder of Carrie Leonard, last seen leaving a party with her ex-boyfriend and prime suspect, Tony Ford.
He leaves, he flees, he lies to the cops.
In 2020, Tony passed away. Carrie's case is now considered closed due to death of offender. In Flint, Michigan, we helped acquire a double arrest for the 1991 murder of Ida Houston, who was tragically shot on the steps of her home. So she stands right here watching her mother die and bleed to death. Her daughter, Gabrielle Houston, died in custody, while Gabrielle's boyfriend, Kareem Grant, pleaded no contest to manslaughter and was sentenced to 24 months probation and 1 year in jail. Steve Spingola has worked many cases with us on Cold Justice. We've had some heated moments with each other.
Where's the real Kelly Siegler? Would you get a DNA sample and prove to me it's you?
Calm down.
I'm fine. I am perfect.
We don't usually argue this hard on day
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
I can't think of a cop in the whole country that I would rather work a case with, and he's become an expert on cold cases. Let's bring him out here and talk to him about what he thinks about all this. You never get nervous, do you?
Well, I'm not really nervous. It's really kind of an interesting thing seeing you like this, you know?
Yeah. Sit down.
All right.
You're never nervous.
What's going on?
Remind me how many years you were a cop altogether.
29.5 in Milwaukee, and I still do law enforcement work.
I think one thing that people don't know is that before you and I get to town to work a case, we don't call each other and talk about it.
Really?
We don't try to see if we agree. We really come to town on that first day and start talking about it with local law because we're not trying to make sure we're on the same page.
Right. And we're not sometimes.
And that's a healthy thing, don't you think?
I do. I think you and I have had our differences. There's no
Heated
question.
moments.
Heated moments. I'll leave it at that. People think that that's fake.
They thought we were faking
They
it.
thought we were faking it.
Or that we were really mad at each other.
I was mad at you for a minute, but not the way you think. I looked at something a little bit differently,
Right.
but that doesn't mean I'm right.
Right. So, you know how on day, we work 7 or 8 days on a case, and day 3 or 4 or 5, we have suspect day.
Right.
Time to go talk to the suspect,
Right.
knock on his door. In that day, do you really still hold out hope that they're going to confess or make an admission?
That's a good one. You know, you always hope that.
Because I think it's actually harder than a fresh murder, because you have a suspect who's gotten away with it for a very long time, who's been lying for so long they buy their own bull.
You're right. I think they compartmentalize themselves to the point that they can forget about this.
They do.
They,
I think
you know,
they convince themselves they didn't do it.
Yeah, I always tell people Kelly's got plenty of room in hell for you when she convicts you.
That's right.
You've educated a whole group of people out here that I think can go out here and solve some of the crimes in
Thank
their neighborhood.
God.
You know, I was walking yesterday through the hotel, and somebody come up and grabbed me and said, "Hey, you're the man. Where's Kelly?" Right away, I'm the man, but where's Kelly? You're like the Taylor Swift of cold cases.
so
Honest
funny.
to God.
You're
I
so
mean,
funny. We've done that.
You-
We've done that everywhere we go.
that's true.
So we have some questions here. So this is a question from Kristen on Facebook. She says her daughter's getting ready to start college with a major in criminal justice. What's the best advice you would give to someone passionate about having a career in law enforcement or the legal system?
She sounds like she's doing a great job already. Just go for it. You know what I'm saying? If it's in your DNA, don't worry
How
about
do you know if it's in your DNA?
because
though?
you go to school for this. You start studying it. I get a lot of students that go into criminal justice, but they don't want to be a cop per se. But, you know, there's probation and parole. There's lawyers. There's
yes.
huge fields growing out there.
I know, and everybody thinks they just want to jump straight to
Right.
being a main detective.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that
or
up.
prosecutor
You have
trying
to be
murder
a cop
cases.
first. It's like, I'm trying to tell you, that's the best training you're ever going to have. You
From
know?
the ground up.
From the ground up. If she wants it, reach out to somebody, get a mentor at the
Get a
police
good
department,
mentor.
and just go for it. Don't look back.
Did you ever think you'd be doing this at this stage of your life?
God, no,
I
never.
know.
Unbelievable. The show here has helped me ease into old age, you know, because you're still doing this stuff. You still get to go out there and help people and work with them.
So your wife, Cheryl, a very patient woman to put up with you for how many years?
I don't know, too many. I'll tell you that much. There's a place in heaven for her, just like there is for Sam, for you. I'll tell you that. Honest to God.
My favorite story with you was that time we were working in Florida. You told somebody, and we all heard you, that Cheryl had called saying, "Where are you?"
Yeah.
Because you forgot to tell her
I
you were
didn't
going to go
forget to
work.
tell her. I keep telling
You
the story.
didn't tell her.
I
You
was-
just
I'm
left.
not-
You were gone for 3 days before she noticed.
Well, there's the other side of the coin. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for everything. You know, yeah, you're the best cop I've ever worked with.
You know, don't take this. You're like, I look at you like a friend now. If I need advice or something, really, I do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, it's.
Even when you want to wring my neck,
Well,
you're
that's rarely. I gotta tone down sometimes, you know. But
when did you do that?
well, I don't know. But I've never, you know, it's just.
Keep working on that.
All right.
All right, you be safe going home.
All right. Take care.
Tell Cheryl I said hello.
Take care of your family.
Still feel sorry for her.
That's all right. That's life.
26-year-old mother of two, Hazel Obando, was murdered in February of 2016. In 2019, Tanya and I teamed up with the Fort Myers Police Department to tackle the case. And at the end of our investigation, only one suspect remained.
It's tragic, this young woman just to be killed in this manner.
In her own bedroom, in her own apartment.
Yeah.
On Valentine's Day, Hazel's boyfriend, Tony, found Hazel in a pool of blood, dead from a gunshot wound to the head, which left Hazel's two little girls without their mom.
She's shot. I think she goes right down like a sack of potatoes. Like this. Because remember, her clothes aren't covered with blood, but the mattress is.
Our investigation with local law uncovered Hazel and Tony's rocky relationship and a history of domestic abuse.
She looked pretty badly beaten up. Blood all over her face, arms, chest, nose.
And an examination of strip club receipts, text messages, and surveillance footage painted the picture of an escalating argument leading up to the murder.
Tony, why are you calling your mom at 3 o'clock in the morning?
That's what I say. I don't know
You're
why.
calling your mom? And before you call your mom, you call your brother at 2:58 in the morning.
I don't know why I go.
The evidence was overwhelming, and he was arrested for second-degree murder.
Good job, Molly.
Since the episode aired, there's been more great news. I recently got to have a conversation with Detective Molly Langton. Hey, Molly. Tell us what's been going on.
Well, since he was arrested in June of last year, he was sentenced to 25 years.
So he pled, he didn't go to trial.
That's correct, and I think it was the best outcome.
What did Tony Joyner act like that day that he pled in the courtroom?
Smug.
Really?
Yeah, he was turning back, staring me down, or at least trying to.
Even Tony Joyner knew his time was up, right? Because of the beautiful case y'all put together.
Absolutely. I think he knew he just didn't have a chance in court.
Right. Oh, how are they doing, the girls?
Such happy little girls. So smart, so full of life.
Because right now they're being raised still by their grandmother, right?
Yes, by their grandma and their Uncle Brian.
And how about Brian? How's he doing with everything?
Good. They're so strong and just so loving with those little girls, and they're doing okay under the circumstances.
Yeah. Tell everybody at Fort Myers PD we said hello. Thank you for this.
Thank you guys for helping us out with this case, and just so grateful.
Coming up.
I have to say that we're all just so proud. What you're doing is amazing, and all of us are very lucky to be even a small part of it.
The Cold Justice team is way bigger than it appears on camera. Having the right people in the right places at the right time is our key to accomplishing an impossible show. The person with the job that no one envies, who puts it all together, is executive producer Scott Patch.
All right, let's do it.
Get to see how this part feels, right?
This is not
come on.
my wheelhouse.
Come on.
But I'm happy to be here.
So you started working on Cold Justice when?
I started on the first episode. I was very lucky to be on since the very beginning.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you explain to people that don't understand TV what your job is?
I'm one of the executive producers, and I'm in charge of post-production. You go do your investigation.
Okay.
It gets recorded. It ends up being about 100 hours of footage per investigation. That footage comes back to Los Angeles, where I work with a team of producers and editors to whittle it down to the 43 minutes, which is the length of the show, without the commercials.
So from 100 hours generally to 43 minutes.
Yeah. The thing that makes Cold Justice so special and why we're all so proud of it across the board is because you're so thorough. But that means a lot of footage, and it means when it gets whittled down, you have to make choices. And we, as you know, don't always agree on what should be in the show and what should not be in the show.
But you're always very nice about disagreeing, and I'm not always so nice. I'm sorry.
You tried 68 murder cases, and you never lost. So you're a difficult person to argue with.
You do a good job.
The thing is, we're all on the same team. We all want the same thing. And what makes the show so different is that it's not just telling the story of a case that already happened, that's gone to trial.
Like everybody else does.
Right, you're doing a real investigation. This is an inside look at a homicide investigation. It's something that before I worked on the show, I had never even...
You didn't know anything about true crime before?
No, not much.
Look how much you know now.
I do know that if it's about 100 hours of footage per episode, I've seen you talk about cases for over 10,000 hours. Give or take. Which is amazing, and it's been fascinating. It's never gotten boring.
We get a lot of people that ask us, on the board, on the whiteboard, why is stuff blurred out?
It's because that board, as you know, is a real tool. Just like everything else in the show, you're not doing it for cameras, you're doing it for the local law and the investigators in the room. There's a difference between what you can share with cops who know the case file and what you can put on television. And so the things that get blurred are things that are just not safe for television. Oftentimes it's another crime someone has committed that's not related to this, or a name of a witness who we're not able to say their name. And we have a team of lawyers that watch every cut of the show and give us notes about what we can and can't say. We have to be very careful with what we're putting on the screen.
Is there anything that you would tell us we could do a better job with?
Here's the thing, I think that's what makes the show special is there are cameras around, but they are not addressed. And a producer doesn't come in and doesn't tell you to not put something on the board because it's gonna get blurred out. It doesn't tell a cop not to talk about a topic. So I wouldn't change anything about what you're doing, because what you're doing is you're just being authentic. You're just investigating a cold case. There just happen to be cameras there. And I feel like if we maintain that, you maintain this authenticity that is the strength of the show. And I have to say that for myself and Magical Elves, and I think I can speak for Oxygen too, like, we're all just so proud. What you're doing is amazing, and all of us are very lucky to be even a small part of it. Your passion and your compassion is just kind of infectious, and I think it's a wonderful thing to be a part of.
We wouldn't be here without you. Thank you for that. I mean it with all my heart.
No, well, thank you very much. Back at you.
Here are some more cold justice case updates. Our victim, Ricky Lubert, is just like every boy I grew up with. He likes to hunt, he's a hard worker.
But he clearly loves his two kids, and I think that's the center of his whole universe.
2 years ago, we investigated the 2007 murder of Ricky Lubert with the Texas County, Missouri Sheriff's Office.
So if I pull up here and I put it in park, there's Ricky's trailer right out the window.
Ricky was shot with a rifle at long range through his trailer window. His ex-wife's new husband, Tommy Wetzel, was arrested. In April of 2024, he passed away. Back in my home state of Texas, we helped investigate the 25-year-old cold case of loving mother of four, Jackie Hogue, who was found sexually assaulted and fatally shot in her bedroom with her protective dog Chainsaw brutally beaten.
This dog would be barking like crazy if you're walking down the hallway here. Jackie would have heard that in a heartbeat.
Jackie's husband, Jesse Hogue, was arrested for her murder. In August of 2020, he committed suicide. I remember when this happened, there was a big deal in the news because Rhonda Richardson was a TDCJ guard. In 2022, Steve and I helped the San Jacinto County Sheriff's Office investigate the 2019 murder of Corrections Officer Rhonda Richardson. Her body was found scalped in the woods after she had gone searching for her missing dogs.
So Robert was the person that found her, but he denied that he actually was on the trail with her.
Robert was running up and down here with his four-wheeler, and I heard him say, "I'll help you find your dog."
Her neighbor, Robert Clary, was arrested.
Warrant for your arrest. Turn around.
In April of 2024, Robert Clary pled guilty, and he was sentenced to 30 years in prison.
Because of the different stab wounds that she does have in cuts, some that are coming in this upper chest area.
In Pocatello, Idaho, we helped solve the 2004 home invasion and homicide of Dory Jones with the aid of modern DNA technology.
We got a full male profile and comes back to Brad Comfort.
Damn!
Yes!
All right.
In March 2024, Brad Comfort was convicted of murder by a jury while in the act of burglary, rape, or both. He is currently awaiting sentencing. Coming up.
When people say they don't like the police or whatever, I guess what the first thing that comes to my mouth.
What?
All police are not bad. They made me a promise and they made sure that they fell through with it.
Jan on Twitter asks us, why do so many murders start as domestic violence cases? I can answer that because there's a misconception out there that it's easy to leave. And we live in a world where a once loving partnership can turn to violence. Jealousy, greed, suspicion, and anger all can lead to something truly tragic. The victim, their family, friends, and the community all suffer from these actions. Our next case made all this very clear. She didn't drink. She didn't do drugs. All she did was work.
She was a good friend, doing people's hair and lending them money.
They only have 4 or 5 murders a year in Jonesboro, Arkansas, and for a lady like this to be murdered, it's got to make people pretty worked up and mad.
Oh, yeah.
In 2016, hard-working mother Stacy Devine was found strangled to death and dumped in a ditch. Steve and I joined Lieutenant Kenny Oldham and Sergeant Michael McCandless at the Jonesboro Police Department to help solve the case.
If she was in the trunk, grab out of the trunk, 2 or 3 steps, you're over there.
You got nobody looking here at all.
Stacy's children, Emily and Emmanuel, were counting on us.
Me and my mom were so close. Like, me and my mom talked about everything.
Our investigation revealed Stacy and her husband Charles Devine's marriage was headed for divorce, and he was jealous, controlling, and abusive.
You know, he has downloaded some apps trying to track her, you know, wherever she was going.
She was talked about that her husband was beating her.
We learned Stacy was planning on removing Charles from her life insurance policy and set to leave him for good the day she was killed. I mean, $250,000 he thought was going to be coming to him.
Talk about a motive.
And our analysis of Charles' cell phone data suggested that, contrary to his alibi, he was home during the murder window and at the location where her body was found the next morning. There's your window where everything happens.
It's just so points to Charles Devine.
Craighead County Chief Deputy Prosecutor Grant DeProw reviewed the evidence and Charles Devine was arrested.
We've got a felony warrant for your arrest for the murder of Stacy Devine.
Since the episode aired, there's been more developments. This one has a great update. A jury found Charles Devine guilty in October of 2022. He was sentenced to 30 years in prison. Lieutenant Kenny Oldham has agreed to join us along with Stacy's 2 children, Amoni and Emmanuel Allen. Come join me, guys. So happy to see you. Yeah, you've been a busy man. Come sit over here.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
hi, Kelly. How are you?
You're so beautiful.
You know I want her.
Are you taking good care of her? You better be. You better be. Wow. Wow. Kenny, remind me, how long did it take for I went to trial? 2 years?
2 years.
That's
Roughly
not
2
bad.
years.
2 years is fast.
It felt like forever.
What was that like going through a trial?
It was very emotional for me, thinking about everything she had to endure, not having anybody there to help her.
Because you're sitting in the courtroom and all the little pieces that make up their relationship, you're hearing a lot of that for the first time.
Right. Everything from Charles's girlfriend to everything my mom told me on the phone. And in my head, I'm just like, how did she do this?
Right.
Like,
because through that all, she was still trying to stay strong for y'all.
Yes.
And kind of shield you from it, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Did you get to watch the whole trial?
I did.
You did?
Yes.
Did you?
No, ma'am.
Because you testified?
Yes, ma'am.
And you didn't have to testify?
Right.
Because people don't know that, but when you testify, even though it's your mother who's the victim, we have what's called the rule, which means you're not allowed to see any other witness's testimony, so you don't even get to watch it all, huh?
Yeah, I didn't get to watch it.
How did Charles Devine respond to you on the witness stand, Emmanuel?
You could tell once I got off the stand that he was upset. He didn't like that I did the job that I did. I didn't even know that I could do as good as I did. I just felt like it was my mom just talking through me. Once I looked at him, he just put his head down, and that's when I felt like, yeah, everything is gonna be good.
What part of the trial was the roughest, the hardest to sit through?
Mine was seeing the pictures.
The autopsy pictures?
Yes.
Did you stay in there during those?
I did.
They should have told you can leave, and you didn't want to.
They did, no. Because I wanted to see everything.
Okay.
You know, if I'm going to go through it, I'm going to go through the whole thing.
Okay. That's horrible.
It was just to see my mom laying on a metal table, to see her body in a ditch. You know, it's like, it's mind-boggling, and those are things that I will never forget.
No. Ever. So you held it together?
I did.
30 years is a good sentence.
I feel like that's probably just about the rest of his life. So.
Good, right? You're About to retire, you told me, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
58 days.
You're gonna miss it.
I know.
How many years were you a cop?
37 years.
37. And of all the cases over your career, have any been more important to you than this one?
No, I told Imani that in the get-go.
He did. I think he kind of knew, like, I was counting on him, like, don't, let me down. And he would always tell me, like, we're gonna get him.
Charles Devine got his 30 years. You were thinking what?
It's worth it. Everything's worth it. The long hours, it's all worth it. That's what it's about. And as far as law enforcement, that's why we do what we do.
Yep.
When people say they don't like the police or whatever, I guess what the first thing that comes to my mouth.
What?
That's your opinion, but all police are not bad. My experience with police officers, they made me a promise and they made sure that they fell through with it.
Well, after all you've been through, you get the right to say whatever you want to, and that's a great attitude.
Yeah. I appreciate you for everything.
You're more than welcome, sir.
I really do.
Good for you. Emmanuel, what do you think your mama would say to you right now if she could talk to y'all?
That she's proud of us. And she's happy that I have finally had those grandbabies she was waiting on.
Yeah.
Somebody really took my best friend from me. And I go around town, there's still times where I drive to the spot where her body was found, and I know it's weird, but to me, I just feel like I'd sit out there in my car and I just feel like I'm talking to her. And now they're like building new life out there. And I look at it now like that was my sign from my mom telling me that you need to build your life.
Keep going.
Keep going. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. I hope I'm talking to you some more. Thank you. Thank you for everything for 37 years. Thank you. Coming up.
There does seem to be a lot more reluctance, I think, across the board and nationwide to take a tough case to trial. It's so political now, and I think that prosecutors are worried about losing a case affecting their ability to get reelected.
For the first time in this season 7, we brought on as my partner a lawyer, a former prosecutor, and the guy who's been our behind-the-scenes legal consultant for a very long time, Murray Newman. You look so good. You're like you're going to court.
You're not going to make fun of my driving like you usually do.
I'm going to make fun of everything you do this entire week. I'm so dang excited you're here. I think it turned out great, and we can't wait to hear what y'all thought about it. But he's here to talk about all that. Murray Newman. So people don't know for 10 years what you've been doing behind the scenes.
I started off as the first legal consultant on the show. You had filmed the pilot and realized that being a lawyer and being on TV was too much to take.
Yeah.
And so you needed somebody to be kind of behind the curtain that helped basically take notes, the stuff that goes along with working on a case. And so y'all hired me.
And you've been a prosecutor and a defense lawyer. I think that dynamic with your being able to play devil's advocate and pick things apart adds a whole new dimension to what we can bring to a case, don't you?
Oh, absolutely, because you're seeing some things unfold in real time. Your prosecutor will love you for it, is take the piece of paper that you showed him and tag it into evidence right now. Okay. You're in court. You can say, do you have the piece of paper you showed him? Yep. Is this it? Yes, it is. How do you know? Here are my initials, and boom, you just proved it up.
Great idea. What's your favorite part of your new job?
Of being on air?
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun to get to work and interact with the local law when you meet them around the country. They're so similar in so many ways, but they're also different regionally, and it's always entertaining to talk to them and see the similarities and the differences.
What's the part that you don't like as much?
I hate hearing my accent on TV.
Welcome to my world. We had this cool package of some of the updates from all the old cases we've worked on. You want to check it out?
Yeah.
Look over here. The sad thing about this case is that poor little 13-year-old girl. Her mom allegedly leaves her one day and never comes back, and she had to grow up her whole life without her mom.
I know.
In 2015, we helped the Hernando County Sheriff's Department solve the 1982 disappearance of Laverne Mackey. So the other thing is trying to see if we can get enough evidence or witnesses to shore up premeditation. Her husband, Merle Mackey, confessed and pleaded to second-degree murder.
Finally, cost of shoulders is, alright, I'll tell you. It bothered me for 33 years.
He was sentenced to 10 years and died behind bars in July of 2020. In 2020, we teamed up with the Stafford, Texas Police Department to solve the 2003 murder of tow truck company owner Jerry Humphrey. shot in his bed just days before Christmas.
You had to be awfully confident of yourself that you could get in that tight squeeze without waking that bear of a man up in bed.
We have witnesses putting Angel at the time.
During our window, and lo and behold, where did he last see Angel?
By the truck where the gun is missing.
Yes. His former employee, Angel Amescua, was arrested and charged. His trial is set for later this year. In 2019, Johnny Bonds and I helped investigate the 1984 slaying of Johnny Albritton, who was shot 5 times with his own shotgun.
He got ambushed as soon as he walked in that door. So you didn't kill your husband?
No.
You didn't have anybody else do it?
No, Jose. No way.
Johnny's 84-year-old wife, Norma Albritton, was arrested for the murder. Since then, her son and alibi witness, Randy Clinkscales, was found dead, and Norma has broken her hip and was placed in a nursing home. Her case is still pending. Back in 2018, we helped the Idaho Falls Police Department solve the murder of new mother Stephanie Eldridge, whose body was found in a shallow grave wrapped in electrical tape. And he's just dragging it out like this, backwards, dragging it this way. You think his car is pulled up as close as possible?
The truck was right here, 10 seconds maybe.
Yeah.
My biggest point of view, I'm the last one to see you. Last one to use her phone. Last one to talk to her.
Her fiance's brother, Kenny Jones, was arrested and pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter and concealment and was sentenced to prison for 10 to 21 years. I think you did more than half of those, didn't you?
Yeah, no, there are a lot of familiar cases on that.
And some of them still are not resolved because people think that once you file charges, it's going to go to trial quickly, and we're still waiting on some of them.
Yeah.
It takes how long now on average for a case to go to trial in Harris County?
Anywhere between 2 to 3 years.
Wow. And other places it's even slower.
Sure.
So we get a lot of questions from Facebook, which you're very prolific on. These questions, some of them are for you and some of them are for me. Let's hit each other with some and see what we can come back with, okay?
Okay.
Okay, here's one. Have you ever had a case when you were a prosecutor where you had empathy for the suspect?
Sometimes what we would call like a street crime where you've got someone who may have just been scared and maybe they made the wrong decision in the wrong moment. Sometimes acts that have horrible consequences aren't necessarily reflective of who that person really is as a human being.
No.
Empathy is something that I think permeates the criminal justice system, and if you lose it completely, you should leave the job. Neil from Facebook wants to know. He says, "Hi Kelly, I was wondering how you deal with the darkness of working on cases like this day in and day out."
Well, you can tell them how frivolous I am and how fun I am to hang out with.
Oh, you're a blast.
The job makes you harder. It makes you cuss too much. It makes you less patient, less tolerant. It makes you different, right?
I don't know anybody that does criminal law that's not jaded in some way.
Yep. It's going to change you.
Yeah.
Here's one, Murray. You know why I like this one. This is from Robin. But why are prosecutors so weak and unwilling to press charges? It seems like they always want law enforcement to tie up loose ends, and that seems very sad.
There does seem to be a lot more reluctance, I think, across the board and nationwide to take a tough case to trial. It's so political now, and I think that prosecutors are worried about losing a case affecting their ability to get reelected. There's a lot of people that are scared of losing. You get over that when you're a defense attorney.
I got over it early on as a prosecutor because I lost 10 in a row.
You get punched a few times and realize it doesn't kill you.
Exactly.
You get back up and you learn something.
Yes.
You learn from every loss.
Way more than the wins.
Absolutely.
Don't you love what you do?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I would tell people, if you're thinking about being a prosecutor, do it. It's the best job in the world. Well, thank you for everything. Thank you for this.
It was my pleasure.
All right, give me a hug.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Coming up.
I'm actually very good at making fun of my mother's country accent. It's really sad on the show. She'd go, "Hi, I'm Kelly." But then we made fun of her and she stopped doing it.
Yeah, because I don't think I say that. We've been talking about how proud we are of cold justice and all that we've accomplished. The other side of cold justice that we don't talk about a lot, though, is how many nights we spend in hotel rooms all across the country and how many nights we're gone from our families. The people who know that best in my life are my family, and I brought them here today for y'all to finally get to meet all together. Everybody sitting here is a lawyer, and these are my 3 babies that I want y'all to finally get to talk to: Sam, Kelsey, and Samantha. Here they are. Sam is a lawyer too, but he practices medicine, You went to law school first. How come you didn't decide you wanted to be a lawyer, honey?
Because I don't really care for most lawyers.
Oh, that's kind of harsh. Because you were doing the plaintiff lawyer stuff, right?
Plaintiffs and corporate and civil defense.
Okay.
Now you can like it.
And when you and I met, remember I was just still an intern at the DA's office.
Yeah.
And then today, Kels, you just started working at the DA's office, my old office, 9 months ago.
I'm in domestic violence now, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm having my first trial on Monday. I'm actually helping people. It's just like my mama.
Why did you use that accent, little smart aleck?
I'm actually very good at making fun of my mother's country accent. It's really sad on the show. She used to do this really cute thing where she'd introduce herself to everybody, and she'd go, "Hi, I'm Kelly." But then we made fun of her, and she stopped doing it.
Yeah, because I don't think I say that. Samantha, what are you doing?
I took the corporate route, and I work at a law firm, and I work mostly with companies.
So, girls, I guess this is your chance to finally get to pick on me. Samantha, you want to start with telling everybody what great fashion sense I have?
Oh, you sweet little thing.
What'd you say one time about my closet?
There are so many colors in there because you just love happy colors and happy things that when you walk in, it just looks like an M&M factory.
You like my fashion sense, don't you?
Of course, baby.
What do you think about cold justice and what we do?
I mean, it's always been good, but it's just gotten so better over time.
Thank you.
I like to see how you actually make a difference. And I also appreciate how you still keep in contact with the families and help them along the way and navigate next steps. Like, it's not just a show. You truly are helping people.
Thank you. You know, we did the pilot in 2012, and in all those years, from the girls going through junior high to high school to college to law school, you never said a complaint. So I got to give you credit that you never once tried to say anything to make me stop.
Well, when I started my medical practice, I put in a lot of time, and you supported me the same way.
Well, thank you.
And when you're back, it's more special because you don't take it for granted.
Or when I'm back, by the time I leave again, you're ready for me to go, right?
Sometimes that's the case as well.
I think it helped your marriage.
I think it's great.
It's good.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
There you go.
For us, we learned to be independent women by watching you, and then you being so supportive as a husband was really crucial. Now we have really high standards.
Right. I couldn't have done any of it if y'all wouldn't have been supportive and strong and able to figure out so many things all by yourself. And if you wouldn't have been there holding down the fort and taking care of everything, this wouldn't have happened.
You did it for all of us.
Well, you're very sweet. Thank y'all. You know what the show means. You know what all this means. Y'all get it. And I'm proud of you and I love you. And thank you for everything, baby. All right, now let's go to dinner. I'll pay.
Heck yeah.
The white wine. Yes, gotta have that.
Thank you so much, really.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
I was trying not to curse.
I know that's a struggle.
You can.
Yeah, that's funny. You did good. Y'all, come on, let's go.
Wait, we wanted a picture on set.
I can take it.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
And then he send it to me. Thank you, Zach. I'm so glad we had the opportunity to update y'all on these cases. Thank you, and let's all continue to seek the justice these victims and families deserve.
Years after her first marriage failed, she finally found true love.
She found her Prince Charming. This is the wind she was looking for. She hoped to live happily ever after.
But ever after wasn't all that long.
They stabbed my wife.
She was assaulted by a panhandler.
The last thing you expect is for someone to pull out a knife.
The unprovoked attack triggers a citywide manhunt and a media frenzy.
It's all over the news.
It had everything that a sensational story would need.
Even Oprah commented on it.
But was it really an act of random violence?
This crime was so shocking.
It was a horrifying, horrifying experience.
What's evil in this world, man?
Or was it cold-blooded murder?
Something just wasn't right. The car was never there.
I didn't know who he was anymore.
December 1st, 2018. It's just after midnight on a chilly Saturday in Baltimore, Maryland, also known as Charm City.
It's known as Charm City for a reason. There's culture, there's food, there's music. It's an amazing town.
But it's also a troubled one.
Baltimore's a dangerous city. There really is no denying that there's a problem with homicides, shootings, carjackings, armed robberies.
Baltimore has been on the top 10 list of violent crimes for a number of years, unfortunately.
And this bleak winter morning, it looks as if the city some call Bodymore Murderland is about to claim another victim.
Baltimore City 911. I got a serious emergency.
The caller is 52-year-old Keith Smith.
Some panhandler just stabbed my wife.
He says they've been driving down the street in East Baltimore when his wife, 54-year-old Jacqueline Smith, saw a woman with a baby begging on a street corner.
Jacqueline spotted the baby. She asked her to pull over.
My wife tried to give us some money, and a guy came over, and he started stabbing my wife.
He's completely shocked.
They snatched her pocketbook and snatched her necklace off her neck.
And then they were gone.
I jumped out the car and he ran. Okay, sir, you're still at the location right now, right? I'm leading to the hospital.
He's hysterical, and he's trying to get his wife help.
I'm gonna go to Johns Hopkins.
Johns Hopkins Hospital, which is only a few blocks away, has one of the best trauma centers in the country.
While Keith's adult daughter tends to Jacqueline from the back seat, the dispatcher directs Keith to the emergency room.
You should better pull straight up and they'll be able to help you out.
But only if they're able to make it in time.
How's your wife doing? She got talking, man. She got talking, man. Oh my God. You stabbed her.
54-year-old Jacqueline Smith had always been a generous and compassionate woman.
She's a very giving person, a very kind person.
A Bible-believing Christian woman.
She was very involved in the church.
She was also an accomplished career woman.
Jacqueline Smith was a graduate of North Carolina A&T University, where she majored in engineering. She's working as an electrical engineer, making good money.
She was just someone who a lot of people respected and wanted to be around. Good morning, Jacqueline.
The only hitch in her life was the failure of her marriage, but she didn't let that stop her.
Okay.
Jacqueline is someone that has progressed in her career. She's been able to manage raising 2 children successfully, even getting past the trauma of divorce and successfully rise to the top.
Approaching 50 and with her children grown, Jacqueline decided to give love another chance.
She's at the point in her life where she's ready to start living again and possibly getting out there to find someone new.
And in 2013, it looked like she had found someone who fit the bill perfectly.
She meets this person at the VFW.
His name was Keith Smith.
Keith sees her and automatically he's like, I've got to ask this woman out. I've got to get to know her.
Would you like to dance?
I love to.
Well, okay.
Keith was tall, dark, handsome. Jacqueline was knocked off her feet.
That first dance soon led to a first date, and then another.
They had a lot of different things in common.
They both had grown children who were entering adulthood themselves.
And like Jacqueline, Keith was eager to make a fresh start.
Later on in your years, you don't want to wait too long to start a new relationship. So shortly after, about 3 months later, he's proposing to her on Christmas Eve.
Oh, there's one more thing that I had.
Okay.
I know it hasn't been long, but just wondering if you would.
Sometimes a quick proposal can give you pause, but not for Jacqueline. This is the win that she was looking for.
Keith moved into Jacqueline's townhouse in suburban Baltimore, and they began building a life together.
This is the moment that Jacqueline has been working hard towards. She is happy and content.
She's feeling like her prayers were answered, you could say.
But now Keith is driving through East Baltimore, desperate for help, as Jacqueline bleeds out in the seat beside him.
Oh my God, freaking stab her.
His wife, being the kind-hearted woman she was, rolled down her window to give some panhandlers some money. And the panhandler reaches inside the car, robs her, and then starts stabbing her violently.
I've been so damn bad.
After the stabbing, the dispatcher guides Keith to Johns Hopkins University Hospital.
If you're making a right on the Wolf, the Hopkins is on your right when you get down there at, it should be Orleans.
Okay, I see it now, I see it.
But finding the hospital doesn't mean the crisis is over.
It is a big, big campus. It's not like a small country hospital. We are talking many blocks, many buildings.
Anyone, even in their right mind and calm, is going to have difficulty finding the exact entrance of the building.
I'm in the wrong side.
Keith is frantic.
Finally, after several agonizing minutes circling the sprawling medical complex, Keith manages to find the ER.
Please, I need help. My wife just got stabbed by some panhandler. She's in the car.
Then, as the ER staff rushed Jacqueline inside, Keith broke down completely.
Oh my God, baby. Hold on, baby. Hold on, baby.
54-year-old electrical engineer Jacqueline Smith had finally found happiness with her second husband, Keith.
She was looking for love second time around, and she was able to find that love.
It just looks like the perfect setup for both of these people that are in their 50s finally finding love and making this thing work.
But now, in the early morning hours of December 1st, 2018, Keith has just rushed Jacqueline to a Baltimore hospital.
Hold on, Jackie, hold on. Help! Help! Hold on, baby.
Come on, please hurry.
Please, please.
They pulled over so Jacqueline could give money to a panhandler. And when she rolled the window down, the man who was with a woman attacked Jacqueline.
All right, man.
Jackie!
Jackie, hold on, Jackie. Oh, God.
Nurses at the ER immediately rush her into emergency surgery.
What is going to happen to the love of his life?
By 1 a.m., he has the answer.
The nurse came back out to talk to Keith, and he could tell by the look on her face, it was not good news.
We did everything we could for her.
No.
I'm so sorry.
No!
There was nothing they could do.
When Keith sits down with Baltimore homicide detectives several hours later, he's still trying to contain his grief.
He's playing it over and over in his mind, blaming himself, and the tears just stream down his face.
You didn't do anything wrong, okay? I should have known. You can't blame yourself for this.
Once Keith regains his composure, he walks the investigators through what happened.
He and Jacqueline had gone to East Baltimore to celebrate his daughter Valeria's birthday.
They went to dinner at the VFW. They were enjoying themselves.
We had a beautiful time, man.
He says it was almost midnight when they left the VFW and headed east towards Valeria's home.
They were giving her a ride before they headed back to their home in Aberdeen.
According to Keith, while they were driving, his wife spots a panhandler.
We stopped at the stop sign. There's a girl over there.
She's holding a sign that says, "Can't feed my baby, need help."
She was holding the baby, and I was like, wow, how you gonna be out here with a baby this late at night?
He described a woman in her 20s, somebody who might have been addicted to drugs.
Not that it mattered to Jacqueline.
He said Jacqueline was so moved and troubled by this that she wanted to give her some money.
Look, pull over, pull over. Okay. Hey, sweetie, how are you?
She called the girl over.
Here, God bless you, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, the guy just walked over. Yeah, man, you gotta thank your wife, man.
He described a man in his 30s who was wearing a heavy jacket with a goatee.
But according to Keith, when the man leaned in the window, it wasn't to say thank you.
The man grabbed her necklace, grabbed her wallet, and began stabbing her.
I was in shock. I couldn't believe it.
He doesn't know what to do.
What did the knife look like? If you could tell, I know these things happen so quickly. That's okay. That's okay. So you just saw the motion?
He's not able to describe the murder weapon for the police.
When the stabbing occurred, what happened next? Did they just start running? They thought he snapped the necklace off and grabbed a pocketbook and ran.
That was about all the information the detectives were going to get from Keith.
Them no weapons. No weapons, man.
He starts to break down in front of the officers. Again,
I should have pulled it off. I should have pulled it off. I should have never let her in there, man.
in those moments, you're thinking, you know, I'm the husband. I'm supposed to protect my wife, and I wasn't able to do that.
All right, we're going to talk to your daughter real quick, then we can get you guys home, okay?
They're just trying to get as much information as they can, as quickly as they can, to aid their investigation.
When the detectives follow up with Keith's daughter, Valeria, her account corroborates her father's.
This girl came up to the car, she was asking for money, and I wasn't paying no mind. It wasn't until this guy came over that it caught my attention.
She was able to see everything that happened to her stepmother.
He got to the car and he was like, yeah, thank you, ma'am, and just started stabbing her. And like, it was literally like 2 seconds, and they were gone. She was just laying there, she's like, oh, it was just terrible.
However, in addition to confirming her father's story, Valeria also offers up a clue that may help find the killers.
She had seen which way the attackers ran.
She's pretty sure they ran off toward the basketball courts.
She thought they were headed to the Latrobe homes.
That's the project right there.
According to Jacqueline Smith's stepdaughter, the panhandlers who stabbed the 54-year-old electrical engineer fled in the direction of a Baltimore housing project.
One of the things about traumatic incidents, people can have different perceptions of what actually occurred. But in this particular scenario, you had a rather consistent story, so detectives felt like they had some pretty good leads.
However, before heading to the housing project, the detectives have Keith Smith's car towed to the crime lab.
They'd take the vehicle to search for DNA and other clues as to what exactly occurred that evening.
Then the detectives stop for a look at the street corner where the deadly encounter occurred.
Valley and Chase is in a community with mostly vacant homes. There aren't a lot of people there.
This isn't a typical area where people come to ask for money or food.
But is it the ideal place for an ambush?
Not only were there no witnesses around, the corner wasn't covered by any of the police surveillance cameras.
The detectives spend a few minutes combing the area for evidence.
They're looking for a murder weapon. They're looking for some signs that says there was a struggle.
They were also hoping to find Jacqueline's purse.
Oftentimes, criminals want to get rid of it, get what you can out of it as quickly as possible, then discard it.
Unable to find a discarded knife or purse, the detectives make their way to the Latrobe Homes housing project.
The almost 700-unit complex, built in the 1940s, is one of Baltimore's oldest public housing developments.
They canvassed the area, asking questions. They did not find anyone that matched the description that Valeria and Keith gave of the two people.
Reviewing the Housing Authority's security footage from the night of the stabbing also fails to turn up anyone fitting the suspect's description.
Maybe she got it wrong, and they weren't heading toward the projects.
Latrobe Homes an apparent dead end, the detectives try a different approach.
They put a trace on Jacqueline's credit cards.
While the detectives search for Jacqueline's killers, her murder becomes big news in Baltimore.
There's lots of media attention and media frenzy. It's all over the news, and it's really beginning to cause concern for the community.
This is a crime where anyone could have been a victim. That's what was so scary to the community. Often, homicides will happen in the city because somebody is involved in illegal activity, but panhandling, that's something that any citizen could fall victim to by simply trying to help someone.
It really created a level of fear in the community that wasn't existent previously.
The fear only amplifies after the story goes from local tragedy to national headline.
Oprah Winfrey got hold of this story, and she retweeted it to her 40 million plus followers on Twitter.
She's given out money to panhandlers thousands of times. But now she's going to think twice about whether she rolls down that window. That's the impact that it had across the country.
You have people from all over viewing these people who need help as dangerous.
We have been socialized to have a fear of unhoused individuals. And this story played into those fears.
Much of the media's attention centers on Keith.
He's doing a lot of press. He's talking to the media about what happened, and he's trying to get action.
He believes that the panhandlers are the reason that he's lost the love of his life, and he wants something done about it.
This is a husband who wants to make sure no other family experiences what they've experienced.
He wanted there to be a law passed against panhandling in the city.
He wants to name it Jacqueline's Law.
As the debate about panhandlers rages, the Baltimore police may be on the verge of catching Jacqueline's killer.
Yes, ma'am. Can I help you?
A couple of days into this investigation, police received what they believe is a great lead.
The same day that Oprah tweets about the case, a woman approaches an officer sitting in his patrol car outside a Baltimore shopping center.
The woman comes forward saying that she had been calling the tip line but couldn't get through.
She's been trying to get through to let them know, hey, look, I've got a potential lead in this case.
The panhandler murder?
Yeah, that panhandler.
Okay.
I believe I know who did it, and it wasn't no panhandler.
She believed a gentleman by the name of Damon Booth could be responsible.
The woman tells the officer that Damon Booth has been committing armed robberies in the Latrobe Homes area.
Latrobe Homes, of course, was the housing project that the killers were heading toward after the murders.
And that's not the only thing to suggest the tipster may be right.
And does Damon live in Latrobe Homes?
No, he doesn't live there, but his girlfriend lives there.
Okay.
She lives in the housing project with her mom.
Is this the couple that set up Jacqueline and committed this murder?
Baltimore police have received what appears to be a credible tip that the so-called panhandler who stabbed Jacqueline Smith is actually a petty thief named Damon Booth.
Police further learned from this tipster that Damon Booth has a girlfriend, and the girlfriend happens to live in Latrobe Homes.
Latrobe Homes was the housing project that was a few blocks away from the East Baltimore Street corner where the murder occurred.
Putting two and two together, you have a woman who was posing on the corner with this baby and a guy who comes up from the shadows and commits this crime, and they both flee towards Latrobe Homes.
Everything about the couple fits what Jacqueline's husband, Keith, and the daughter told detectives about the murder.
This is sounding like we're getting very close to cracking this case.
Thanks, officer. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
When detectives pull Damon's rap sheet, it looks like they're even closer.
They find out that he does have a criminal record and that he spent 5 years in prison for armed robbery.
Reviewing the details of his armed robbery conviction also raises a big red flag for detectives.
He, in fact, held a knife to someone's throat.
Once the knife comes up, now they're really looking into him.
They may have found the culprit.
When detectives bring Booth in for questioning, he denies any involvement in Jacqueline's murder.
He'd said, I wasn't even in the area. I don't know what you're talking about.
I never even heard of this woman.
Her murder's all over the news.
Man, I don't even watch TV.
Damon did admit that his girlfriend lived in Latrobe Homes, but he never went to her apartment.
Why's that?
Her mom. She don't like me.
Damon tells investigators that he's not welcome around his girlfriend Tanya's home.
According to Damon, that's why he was nowhere near the crime scene when the stabbing occurred.
We got a room in a motel out on Pulaski Highway.
Which motel?
I forgot the name. It's just past Holland Avenue.
If Damon was telling the truth, that was more than 2 miles from the crime scene.
You were there all night?
Yeah, I was.
Damon tells the investigators that Tanya went to get food around 10 o'clock, but that was it. Otherwise, they were in the motel for the remainder of that evening.
You're free to go.
When detectives bring Damon's girlfriend Tanya in for questioning, she confirms their alibi.
She says she only left out once that night to get something to eat.
I walked like a block down the road to get some food.
What time was that?
About 10.
They give a consistent story.
Detectives were not about to take their word for it, though.
Thank you.
After talking to Tanya, they follow up at the motel where they supposedly spent the night.
Detectives are able to look at surveillance video. They're able to check the guest registry.
The footage corroborates Damon and Tanya's story. It shows them checking in, and it does not show Damon checking out until the following morning.
There's no way they were going to be able to be over at Valley and Chase where this murder occurred.
They may fit the description, but they were nowhere near that crime scene.
Their hot tip turns out to be a dud, and the forensic results from Keith's car are equally disappointing.
When the investigators get the forensics back, there are no fingerprints belonging to anyone other than Keith, Valeria, and Jacqueline.
Now, that's not completely unusual because we're talking about someone who reached inside the car, snatched the necklace, snatched the purse, and stabbed her to death.
So, of course, there wouldn't be any fingerprints inside of the car.
But just when the investigation is running out of steam, things heat up.
The investigators get notified that someone made 3 charges on Jacqueline's credit cards.
They traced the use of the card to 3 juveniles.
Obviously, none of the kids fit the description of Jacqueline's killers.
So how do they end up with her credit cards?
They say they found her purse at a local bus stop.
Knowing nothing about the murder, they'd taken the credit card that was left inside the purse and gone on a spending spree.
After talking to the kids, the detectives head to the bus stop where they reported finding the purse.
That wasn't far from the scene of the crime.
Suspecting the killers passed by the bus stop as they fled the scene, the detectives pull footage from the various city surveillance cameras along the most likely routes.
They're looking at numerous surveillance videos, 27 different cameras.
You kind of can string together things. They might not necessarily point to a specific area, but there is no doubt within a couple blocks, you're going to run across a city watch camera.
As the detectives review the footage from the night of the murder, they once again hit a dead end.
There's no one in any of the footage that matches the description of the perpetrators described by Keith and his daughter Valeria.
However, as they review footage from closer to the crime scene, they notice something else.
None of the video footage reflects Keith's car being in the vicinity.
We're talking about 27 cameras, and the car doesn't show up anywhere.
It was not even along the route from the crime scene to the hospital.
None of the surveillance footage corroborates their story.
After scouring hours of video surveillance looking for the panhandlers who allegedly killed Jacqueline Smith and stole her purse, detectives have made a surprising discovery.
Not only was there no footage of the killers, there was no footage of her husband's car.
The entire route, investigators checked the cameras and were unable at any point to see Keith, Valeria, their vehicle, or either panhandler.
Had Keith and his daughter Valeria simply made a mistake about the route they took to the hospital?
Maybe they get one street mixed up with another.
Or was there another possibility?
Maybe they were lying about this whole thing.
Oh my God, he stabbed her.
Detectives figure there's one way to find out the truth.
Investigators obtained warrants for Keith and Valeria's cell phones, the GPS data, as well as Google data.
And the data suggests that Keith and his daughter have been lying to detectives.
Valeria's cell phone was pinging northwest in Druid Park.
The direct route to her apartment from DFW Hall, where they had dinner, didn't go anywhere near the park.
Investigators were able to determine that Keith and Valeria and Jacqueline were at Druid Hill Park for at least 12 to 16 minutes.
But what were they doing during that time?
Druid Hill Park isn't a place normally where an individual would pull over or stop at in the middle of the night.
It's a perfect place to commit a crime.
Hoping to learn why Keith might want to kill his wife, the detectives quietly reach out to the couple's relatives.
When they talked to Keith's brother, they found a possible motive.
He revealed to detectives that Jacqueline Smith was unhappy.
Jacqueline had been talking about divorce.
A divorce would be a serious hit to Keith's lifestyle.
Jacqueline was the primary breadwinner, and the house was in Jacqueline's name. So Keith had everything to lose if Jacqueline was to walk away from him.
But if she died, Keith had a lot to gain.
It turns out that Jacqueline has a life insurance policy that would pay out a significant amount to Keith.
The detectives found that Keith was already making inquiries about a payout.
After learning of the pending divorce and the possible insurance motive, the detectives make Keith and his daughter the sole focus of their investigation.
The detectives got a court order for a tap on both of their cell phones.
Then the detectives turn up the heat by bringing Keith in for another round of questioning.
They inquire about the life insurance and Keith's interest in the proceeds.
He talks about needing the insurance payment for burial costs.
Do they cover it, the funeral and all that? It's going to get covered.
He gets emotional.
I wouldn't wish this on anybody, man. She's my soulmate.
Detectives don't confront him and let him know that they know he's lying and that his story does not add up. Instead, they bring Valeria back in for another interview.
Questioned by detectives, she repeats the story of how her stepmother was stabbed by a panhandler.
I've never seen anything like that before. That was the worst day of my life.
She didn't know it yet, but she was about to have another bad day.
Detectives confront her with what they know.
What would you say if I tell you your phone has you in Drew Hill Park for a substantial amount of time?
I don't know. I must have been asleep.
The detectives aren't buying it.
I'm gonna be honest with you. We know that's bull.
Though Valeria must know that the detectives know more than what they've disclosed, Valeria doesn't break.
I don't appreciate being called a liar.
She stops the interview.
A lawyer. Okay, all right. Because this is crazy.
Invoking her right to seek an attorney suggests that she knows that she could be in criminal trouble.
The question is, what is her next move?
Detectives were hoping that she'd panic and contact her father about the police interview.
Investigators are listening to their conversations on a wiretap.
Authorities discovered that Keith and Valeria had rented a vehicle.
And the detectives have a pretty good idea where they're headed.
Detectives alert Texas authorities to ensure that Keith and Valeria do not flee the U.S.
Keith and his daughter Valeria are arrested in Texas, very close to the Mexico border.
Hands up, look forward, turn around, turn around.
Now all the authorities have to do is prove Keith did kill Jacqueline. And they get one step closer when shortly after Keith and his daughter are extradited back to Maryland, Valeria's attorneys reach out to the prosecutors.
She wants to cut a deal.
This was potentially a huge break for the prosecutors.
Valeria's testimony could be the key to convicting her father of murder. So when the detectives and prosecutors sit down with her, they make it clear what they want.
What we're trying to do is figure out the truth of exactly what happened to Jacqueline Smith on the night of December 1st, 2018.
Yeah. She agrees to not leave anything out and to tell the truth to the best of her recollection.
Although she claims her memory of that night is a little hazy.
I was doing drugs and I was drinking.
But she does remember one thing clearly.
My father stabbed her.
Jacqueline Smith's stepdaughter, Valeria, has just told police and prosecutors that it wasn't a knife-wielding panhandler who killed the 54-year-old engineer. Instead, she says it was her father, Keith Smith.
Rode to a park, and while we were in the park, my father stabbed her.
But she claims that she didn't have anything to do with the murder.
Valeria told police that she did not know what her father's plans were that evening.
According to Valeria, she thought they were just going out to celebrate her birthday.
Keith and Jacqueline had taken her to the VFW American Legion for her birthday.
She could tell something wasn't right between Jacqueline and her father.
It definitely felt like it was like some tension.
But did she suspect that there could be a murder committed that evening? Not at all.
After leaving the VFW, she says she barely noticed when her dad took a detour to Druid Hill Park.
She says she wasn't paying attention. She was on her phone.
The car slowed down, and that's when I noticed that we was, in like the woods or whatever.
According to Valeria, Jacqueline never even noticed that much.
She states that Jacqueline had dozed off.
And while Jacqueline was still asleep, that's when she saw her father pull out a knife.
I seen him reach and stab her.
Okay. And you're making a motion as
Like
his right hand.
Yeah, she was sitting right here, and he stabbed her like this.
Because she was asleep, Jacqueline didn't know what hit her. She gasped, and then it was over.
Did you see how many times he stabbed her?
I don't remember how many times he stabbed her. I wasn't really even trying to, I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
She was stunned.
I just was just sitting there. I couldn't believe it.
Okay.
And I was just looking at him like he just looked like I didn't know who he was anymore.
What did you do, Dad? Get out of the car!
And when he told me to get out the car, I was scared.
She said she was afraid that her father was going to kill her next.
Instead, he gave her an ultimatum.
She says her father said to her, I'm going to make up a story, and you need to go along with it, or else we're both going to go to jail.
Calm down, calm down. We pulled up, we gave the money, and the panhandler did it. Look at me. You want me to go to jail? You want to go to jail?
She was panicked, in a bad state from the drugs. She agreed to go along with it.
Then, as they drove to the hospital, Keith called 911 and gave the operator the story he'd worked out.
I believe this woman stabbed my wife. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Was he crying before he called 911?
No.
She says they got rid of the knife and threw it down a storm drain the night of the murder.
She also admitted she ditched Jacqueline's purse at the bus stop a few days after the murder.
He asked me to get rid of it, but to put it somewhere where someone would find it because he wanted somebody to use their card so it would look like a real panhandler did it.
When Keith goes on trial in December of 2021, his daughter is the prosecution's star witness.
When his daughter came into the courtroom to testify, it was as if she didn't even really want to look at him.
Valeria's statements were very damning to Keith.
But was the prosecution's star witness also their greatest weakness?
The defense bring up the fact that she's a drug addict. She has a history of lying, and she's only doing this to get herself off.
They attacked her for not turning in her father before they actually got caught.
The defense also didn't put Keith on the stand to refute anything or to tell his version of the story.
Will smearing Keith's daughter be enough to secure her father's acquittal?
In the end, the jury found Keith guilty of murder.
The judge sentenced him to life in prison.
The family felt justice had been served.
You want to go to jail?
But Keith Smith wasn't alone that night.
Valeria pleads guilty to being an accessory after the fact and gets 5 years in prison.
The prosecution needed her testimony to put Keith away.
And there's no doubt it was Keith who killed the woman he'd promised to love.
Jacqueline Smith never thought it would be her husband who would take her life.
And he brought his own daughter in on it and destroyed his own family and destroyed another family as a result.
However, they weren't the only ones who suffered.
This man maligning people who were panhandling was incredibly harmful for Baltimore's homeless.
He stoked the lie that people who are homeless are a danger.
And that is something that Jacqueline would never have condoned.
Jacqueline was a loving person, an avid churchgoer, believed in God.
And, you know, we'll never get a kind woman back who was known as a very compassionate person.
She was a single mom, scraping by in the ultra-expensive Bay Area.
Housing and everything else is growing more and more unaffordable.
Lots of people were getting pushed out.
Her family really struggled.
Until she met the man of her dreams.
Is this your place?
He grew up in the lap of luxury.
He lived in a beautiful house in one of the Bay Area's most affluent neighborhoods.
He could provide for her and her family.
This is almost like a fairy tale situation.
Only there was no happily ever after.
She didn't show up for Thanksgiving dinner.
They didn't see any signs of forced entry.
She disappeared without a trace.
Had she fallen prey to her past struggles?
Addiction is a chronic illness.
This wasn't a moral weakness.
This addiction had a grip on her life.
Or was her Prince Charming actually the devil in disguise?
Yes, we have, but you alluded to the fact that she was dead.
November 25th, 2004. It's Thanksgiving Day in San Francisco, California, one of the most beautiful cities in America.
There are lots of different cultural experiences that you can have.
You see an amazing food scene, a lot of beautiful architecture, a lot of local attractions, and there's a lot of money in the Bay Area.
And all that wealth comes at a price.
San Francisco is one of the most expensive cities in the country.
With the price of housing and everything else growing more and more unaffordable, people are leaving San Francisco.
Lots of families opt to live in Oakland, which is significantly less expensive.
What Brooklyn is to Manhattan, Oakland is to San Francisco. There's a bridge that separates the two. And many people who live in Oakland have roots and family in San Francisco.
When Linda Alonzo's family sits down for Thanksgiving dinner that evening in San Francisco,
I'm gonna try calling Linda again.
they're still waiting for her to arrive from her home across the bay in Oakland.
When they tried to reach out to her, there was no response. So they were kind of wondering what was going on.
You reached Linda. I'm unavailable. Leave a message and I'll get right back with you. Linda, honey, the turkey's out of the oven.
Eventually, the family carries on without her.
Maybe there was traffic. The Bay Bridge often has a lot of traffic, especially on a holiday.
But by the time they're finished eating, she still hasn't arrived.
Leave a message and I'll get right back with you. Linda, call me when you get this. I saved your plate.
Hours go by. No sign of Linda. No phone call.
At that point, the family knew something was seriously wrong.
"48-year-old Cynthia Linda Alonzo spent most of her early years in San Francisco.
She grew up in a very close-knit family. They always called her by her middle name, Linda.
Linda came up from more of a hard scrabble life.
Linda grew up in a part of town that could be considered lower income, and her family really struggled.
But she had a family that loved her, a family that she spent a lot of time with.
They supported each other emotionally if they couldn't support each other financially.
And by the time Linda turned 30, she had her own family to support.
She had 5 children, and that really meant the world to her.
However, none of the children's fathers were really in their life.
Which is one reason why the single mother eventually left San Francisco behind, moving across the Bay Bridge to nearby Oakland.
This is actually extremely common, especially for people who were born around the time Linda was in the mid-50s. In San Francisco, we had a huge amount of Black displacement due to a redevelopment.
She ultimately found herself living here in Oakland because it's cheaper to live and there's a larger base of Black and working class people.
She was really looking forward to creating a different life for herself, a stable life, a better life.
Although it wasn't until Linda was in her 40s that things really started looking up for the single mom.
Her 5 children were getting older and they were starting to do their own thing.
Linda was finally able to spend a little time on herself.
She was optimistic, she was hopeful, she wanted a storybook romance.
Then she met Eric Mora.
Eric was a smart guy, handsome guy, well-educated, by all accounts, extremely charming.
Eric, in contrast to Linda, grew up in the lap of luxury. He received a large inheritance which allowed him to afford a lifestyle that Linda could only imagine. Nice housing, fancy cars.
Given Linda's circumstances, it must have been amazing to meet this guy that was able to take her out and show her another side of life.
And it only got better from there.
Wait, is this your place?
Yeah, you gotta see it from the balcony.
Eric lived in a beautiful house that he owned in one of the Bay Area's most affluent neighborhoods, the Oakland Hills.
It's a beautiful area where most people would like to live because you get some nice views.
How'd you like it?
You kidding me? This place is gorgeous.
This must have seemed almost like a fairy tale situation, that this great guy with this beautiful house and all of these things going for him was interested in her.
They say opposites attract. This was that situation. Despite the difference between the way in which they grew up, they somehow found love together.
Not only had Linda found love, she'd also found the better life she'd been looking for ever since she moved to Oakland.
He was able to provide her with things that she had only dreamed about.
The couple grew even closer as Linda's kids grew up and left home.
She became a fixture in his life, and he became a fixture in hers.
Now, both of them are in their late 40s, which a lot of people might think is a hard time to meet someone and fall in love. So I'm sure it felt great to have love at that point in your life where a lot of people have already been established.
But now, just as it seemed Linda had so much to look forward to, she is a no-show for Thanksgiving dinner at her mother's house in San Francisco.
This is totally not normal for her to not show up to Thanksgiving dinner and also not call.
She also wasn't answering her phone.
Linda, please call me when you get this.
As the family's concern for Linda is growing, they decide to reach out to Eric.
When they got a hold of Eric,
hello?
He seemed just as puzzled as they were about her disappearance.
What do you mean she didn't show up?
He said he hadn't seen her, and that was surprising to them.
But it's what he says next that's even more surprising.
To be honest, I haven't seen her in days.
This night's been so amazing.
When she met Eric Mora, Linda Alonso had finally found the love and support she'd always craved.
She spent most of her adult life as a struggling mother trying to get by.
When you are used to going without, that just creates that yearning so much more deeply in you.
He could provide for her and her family in a way that I'm not sure other people could have.
But now, she's missed her family's traditional Thanksgiving dinner, leaving them concerned that something is wrong.
This is someone who talks to her family on the phone every day.
Yeah?
When the family got a hold of Eric, he stated that he had not seen or heard from Linda.
To be honest, I haven't seen her in days.
He said he last seen Linda on Saturday when she came over to his house for dinner.
You think something happened to her?
I don't know.
But if you see her, please give me a call.
Yeah, of course.
On the phone, Eric seemed just as worried as Linda's family.
By the next morning, with still no word from Linda, the family decides to report her missing to the Oakland police.
The family had to go down to the police station and provide all the information they could. Pictures of Linda, who she's been with, and the last person that they knew had seen her, which was Eric.
The boyfriend.
Yes.
Was there any trouble there?
No, not at all.
However, the family also admits that things hadn't always been great for Linda.
The family ultimately had to explain Linda's background.
Linda's life wasn't always easy. She had times of trouble financially, times of trouble in terms of stability of housing.
And it wasn't just because San Francisco had gotten too expensive.
The family revealed that in the past, Linda had issues with substance abuse.
Okay, when you say substance abuse, what do you mean?
Crack. She smoked crack.
When we talk about substance use disorder, we're talking about a physical and a psychological addiction. And when we're talking about crack cocaine, we're talking about the addiction in its most powerful, most terrifying force.
According to the family, Linda had beaten the odds and kicked her habit.
Linda was able to build her life back up, start a relationship, things that for her were an enormous triumph.
But was that triumph only temporary?
What the family was concerned about is there was still the possibility that she may have relapsed.
When you have a family member that struggles with substance abuse, that's always going to be a question.
We're gonna do everything in our power to find out what happened to Linda.
You ladies.
After talking to Linda's family, detectives launch a missing persons investigation.
The Oakland police follow up on the information that the family provided. One of the first things they did was to go to Linda's house in order to investigate and search the house for any type of clues that might lead them to her whereabouts.
When the landlord lets them in, everything appears normal.
They didn't see any signs that there had been any sort of incident in the space, no signs of forced entry, no signs that Linda had been pulled from her house.
It was like she had left home.
Her backpack that she usually took with her was gone.
From their search, police are leaving with no real clues as to what happened to Linda or where she might be at.
Nothing.
The house an apparent dead end. Detectives ask Eric to come in for a statement.
The police turn to who the police always turn to first, which is the significant other of the person who is missing.
Eric shows up to the police department, willingly participates in the interview.
So, did you find anything out about Linda? I'm afraid not.
Eric Morris seems to be very concerned and worried about his girlfriend.
But as detectives question him, they can't help but notice something.
He had what it seemed to be fresh scratches on his hands.
That heightened that level of suspicion.
So what happened there?
I've been sanding the floors of my house. I should have hired someone.
It seems reasonable.
Still, detectives are suspicious.
But at the same time, Eric seemed to be willing to cooperate with the investigation.
He talks to investigators at length about he and Linda's relationship, tells the police intimate details.
I was afraid something like this was gonna happen. What do you mean?
He tells them that, he and Linda were in love, but that in recent times, that love has had to face some serious challenges because Linda has backslid into a lifestyle that he thought that she had left behind.
He said that she had started using crack again.
A relapse is exactly what Linda's family had feared.
I tried to get her to go to rehab, but it was hard.
It's a painful process because it leaves your loved ones feeling helpless.
However, according to Eric, the crack isn't all he's worried about.
And the stuff she's been doing, it's scary.
Stuff. Like other drugs.
No, it's not that. I told her I wouldn't give her any more money.
According to Eric, she found another way to feed her addiction.
He said she was a prostitute.
Linda Alonzo's boyfriend, Eric Mora, hasn't just confirmed her family's fear that the former addict is using again. He informs detectives the situation is even worse than they imagined.
He said that to pay for that addiction, she had started doing sex work.
He was trying to stop her from selling her body, but she wouldn't stop.
He also says that Linda kept her relapse and how she was funding it a secret from her family.
The secrecy is common because there's a lot of guilt and shame for the person that's struggling with the addiction.
Eric's news of just how far Linda has relapsed adds a new layer of urgency to the missing persons investigation.
It's not unusual for prostitutes and addicts to become victims of foul play.
She could have gone off into an underworld of drug addiction to never be seen again.
When did you see Linda last? Saturday morning? Please, is there anything I can do, to keep you here?
I'm going.
He told the police that he had given her $40 and dropped her off in West Oakland.
I knew I shouldn't have given her that money, but I didn't know what else to do.
He knew full and well that she was going to use that money to beat this addiction that had a grip on her life. But he had so much love for her, he was hopeful that by him giving her that money, she wouldn't have to go and sell herself.
When you're in a long-term romantic relationship with someone and they relapse back into addiction, it feels so painful. You feel helpless. You're worried about enabling them, but what you really don't want is for them to be in unsafe situations. And so it makes sense that you may want to reduce the risk by providing the resource that the person needs if they're going to do it anyway.
I thought she'd be back in a day or two.
Eric told detectives that Linda had disappeared like this before.
But she had always come back.
And despite her addiction, he's continued to remain by her side, but yet understood that the addiction had complete control of her.
I thought I was helping.
He was just trying to be her crutch in this moment.
Whenever a person is enabling a loved one, it's because they love them and they're really doing what they think is best to support them.
Now detectives wonder whether Eric's misguided attempt to keep Linda safe had led to her disappearance. Or worse.
West Oakland definitely has far more crime, far more street crime, far more violent crime.
There's some areas that have what we call the projects. And over there, because of the poverty and the lack of opportunities, you get a lot of drug trafficking. And drug trafficking brings in robberies, and robbery brings in assault.
That's all we have for you. You're free to go.
You can follow me.
After detectives talk to Eric, the search for Linda takes the police to the streets.
It put out an APB for officers to be on the lookout for her.
Oakland PD broadened the scope of their investigation. They start using their resources, patrol officers, patrolling up and down streets where prostitution is known to occur, beating the streets for all the information they can, looking for leads.
Hi, yes. Do you have a...
Detectives also check with area hospitals and jails.
There was still a possibility that she overdosed, or she could have been picked up for drugs or prostitution.
Unfortunately, the police learned nothing. Despite all the efforts, no one has seen Linda. Linda has seemingly disappeared without a trace.
Or is it possible that she's in hiding?
Sometimes somebody doesn't want to be found because they are somewhere doing drugs, because they are with someone who is paying them for sex work or other work, because they have re-entered a life that they had left and they're ashamed and they don't want their family or friends to know. And I am sure that all of these things crossed the police officer's mind.
Empty-handed so far, Detectives reach out to Linda's circle of Oakland friends.
These were people who didn't necessarily know or communicate with Linda's family in San Francisco.
They are surprised to learn that the story that Eric has is something totally different than the story that her friends have to share.
None of Linda's friends say they ever saw signs of a drug relapse.
No.
And that isn't the only contradiction to Eric's story.
Friends of Linda's believe that Eric might not be as perfect as he seemed initially.
They share with investigators that, yes, the relationship between Linda and Eric started off as a fairy tale, but at some point in time, turned into more of a nightmare.
Wait, so it wasn't drugs?
No, not at all. It was Eric.
Nothing wrong with me going out with my friends. Yes, I am.
They start to get more details on their relationship and that their relationship was not good.
According to what Linda told her friends, Eric had become controlling and jealous.
He acted like he owned her.
But that wasn't the worst of it.
She was saying that she was not sure if she felt safe around Eric.
Really? She told me that he would sometimes hit her.
A friend of Linda Alonso has just told detectives investigating her disappearance a very different story than the one they got from the missing woman's boyfriend, Eric Mora.
He acted like he owned her.
Before her disappearance, Linda told her friends about wanting to leave Eric and that their relationship was not good and in fact abusive.
In his statement to police, Eric had told detectives that Linda, a former addict, had a recent relapse.
Eric's statement fit with what Linda's family told them about her past.
The family had to be very frank and honest and disclose to the police about her history of drug abuse.
But now, detectives wonder if Eric had been counting on that.
It sounds like some of those vulnerabilities are what was leveraged by Eric.
The fact that Linda had not told her family about the abuse is not all that uncommon.
Something that is seen in a lot of cases involving domestic abuse is that the victim will tell kind of random people like their neighbors, but they won't tell their immediate family.
You don't want their judgment. You don't want them to echo what you're already saying to yourself. It can feel disheartening and absolutely demoralizing when you start noticing that this may not be the storybook romance that you were looking for.
And if what Linda told her friends about Eric's abuse is true, could that ultimately explain her disappearance?
Abusers almost never start their abuse off on 10. More likely than not, boundaries are tested and pushed progressively over time, and then the escalation of violence.
For a victim of domestic violence, trying to get out of a relationship is the most dangerous time.
The aggressor or perpetrator of domestic violence is always struggling with some degree of control. When you're in a situation where you're feeling rejected by the person that you feel that you have control over, they do whatever is necessary to regain that control.
Is that what happened in Linda's case?
When Eric initially sat down with detectives, he had suspicious scratches on his hands.
He said he was sanding the floor for some unknown reason.
But now that more than a week has gone by with no word from Linda or leads on her whereabouts, detectives aren't so sure.
Perhaps this was not a missing persons investigation after all.
This smells like a homicide.
Hoping for more information about Eric and Linda's relationship, detectives return to her neighborhood and start knocking on doors.
Talking to Linda's neighbors, police learn a very important piece of information.
Excuse me, ma'am.
They spoke with a neighbor who was certain that she'd seen Linda getting into Eric's car on Thanksgiving Day.
You're certain it was Thanksgiving?
Positive. I was expecting family. So when I heard a car pull up outside, I looked out to see if it was them.
And you're sure it was Linda and Eric?
Definitely.
This is a direct contradiction to what Eric has said.
Eric had told police and told Linda's family that he had not seen her in some time.
The neighbor says that when she saw Linda get in the car with Eric that afternoon, she assumed they were heading across the Bay Bridge to San Francisco.
She told her neighbors that she was excited, looking forward to spending Thanksgiving at her mother's house.
Instead, that was the last time anyone had seen Linda.
Armed with this new information, investigators began to take a closer look at Eric.
They were eventually able to get a search warrant for Eric's home in the Oakland Hills.
Question is, after 4 weeks, will they even find anything?
As we all know, that means forensic evidence is far harder to come by.
Despite that, the search does raise questions.
There was a carpet that was missing. There was furniture that was missing or had been moved around.
And as he'd said when detectives asked about the scratches on his hands, it appeared that Eric had been sanding his floors.
It didn't look like he was remodeling.
The floor was sanded in a very rushed, messy, incomplete way.
It looks like someone had attempted to clean up a potential crime scene.
Suspecting that's the case, detectives decide to take a closer look.
They call in the crime scene investigators, who come in with their technology.
One of the first things the CSI techs do is spray the walls around the sanded area with luminol.
Luminol under fluorescent light will reveal where bloodstains were previously cleaned.
And in this case, it appeared to confirm that the detectives were dealing with a homicide.
They find traces of blood splatter on the wall of Eric's home.
More than a month after Linda Alonzo mysteriously disappeared, Oakland police have found their first clear indication that she may have been murdered.
When they searched Eric's upscale home in Oakland Hills, they discovered blood spattered on the walls.
And according to a neighbor, they last saw Linda getting into Eric's car on Thanksgiving Day, just a few hours before she went missing.
Eric told investigators that he hadn't seen Linda for 4 days leading up to Thanksgiving.
However, they will need more to make an arrest.
The CSI team took samples of the blood on the walls of Eric's house.
They then send them to the lab for analysis.
When they will get the results is anyone's guess.
Back in this point in time, DNA took a number of weeks, up to months, to process before the police department would get back the results.
Several months go by before detectives finally get the evidence they need.
The DNA test discovered that the blood on Eric's wall was a match for Linda.
There was enough forensic evidence based on those lab results that they were able to get an arrest warrant.
But when they go to make the arrest, detectives hit another snag.
Eric wasn't at home.
In fact, the fancy house in the Oakland Hills that Linda had been so impressed with wasn't even his anymore.
He had sold it and apparently skipped town.
Was he on the run? Was he just taking a trip? Nobody knew.
Months go by without any sign of their suspect or any evidence indicating where he'd gone.
Eric dropped completely off the radar.
It's not until February of 2007, more than 2 years after Linda went missing, that detectives finally get a tip that Eric has been spotted.
They located their person of interest on the Jack London waterfront, right here in Oakland.
They were able to bring him in for questioning.
This time, when investigators talked to Eric, it wasn't as pleasant as the first time. They didn't consider him to be the doting boyfriend who had stood by Linda during all her life's challenges. Instead, police investigators confronted him with the evidence.
We found Linda's blood at your house. I can explain that.
He said that someone had broken into his house in the middle of the night.
About a month before Linda's disappearance.
Eric claims Linda surprised the intruder, and he pistol whipped her before fleeing the scene.
So all of that blood and all that stuff must have been from the home invasion.
The detectives are skeptical.
This was the first time Eric had ever said anything about a home invasion.
They confronted Eric with the testimony that the neighbors saw Eric and Linda together as Linda was getting into his car on Thanksgiving.
It wasn't me, I swear.
He claimed he didn't know where Linda was. He hadn't seen Linda, and he did not kill her.
And why'd you leave town? I had to.
His answer was that he was in fear for his life, that Linda's family was threatening him, that they believed, mistakenly, he said, that he was somehow involved in her disappearance, and he was afraid that they were going to hurt him.
I had to leave town.
He seems to have an answer and a story for everything.
Not that detectives are buying any of it.
It's pretty clear that Eric is the killer.
Gonna stand up?
At the end of the interview, they booked him on murder charges.
However, the police and prosecutors know they are a long way from a murder conviction.
The case against Eric was fairly circumstantial at this point.
Physical evidence is everything.
And there's one major piece of evidence that's still missing.
There wasn't a body.
Not having a body is very challenging for a prosecutor. One of the biggest pieces of a case is how was the person killed? And if you don't have a body, you're not going to know what happened to her.
But what if there was someone who knew the truth?
While Eric was in jail, a friend of Linda's family was also in lockup at that time.
That friend got in contact with the detectives.
Get your hands off of her! Ready to self on me.
Police in Oakland, California have built a strong circumstantial case that Eric Mora murdered his missing girlfriend, Linda Alonzo.
They found Linda's blood inside of his house, and friends said it was an abusive relationship.
Most of all, a neighbor had seen Linda get into Eric's car just hours before she went missing.
That directly contradicted the story that Eric had tried to feed to the investigators.
But without a confession or Linda's body, a conviction was far from assured.
Any prosecutor you talk to will tell you that it is extremely hard without a body.
But before the case goes to trial, the detectives catch a lucky break.
They're contacted by a jailhouse informant who said that Eric offered to pay him money to back up his story.
Eric offered this person $1,000 if he would back up Eric's claims that Linda had left home prior to Thanksgiving, that Linda was on the streets, and that Eric had nothing to do with it.
But instead of testifying for Eric, he'd gone straight to detectives.
This informant was a friend of her family. He wanted to get all of this information and find out what really happened.
He never actually said anything about him actually murdering her. I don't remember anything concrete. But he alluded to the fact that she was dead.
All the informant knew was that Linda's body wasn't anywhere around Eric's house.
He's like, no, not that secret.
And according to the informant, Eric never said exactly why he'd killed her.
I said, how did he put it? That they got into some type of spat or something.
It's as close to a confession as the detectives are likely to get.
But prosecutors knew it was far from a slam dunk case.
When the case goes to trial in 2012, the prosecution theorizes that Eric and Linda's spat started when she told him the relationship was over.
What do you mean we're done? I don't want to be with you no more. I just want to be free. I'm done.
In that moment, he's losing control. It makes sense that he may snap. He may see red.
Get your hands off of me.
So in an act to exert that control over her, he resorted to violence.
Get your hands off of me.
But since the prosecutors don't have Linda's body, or know precisely how Eric killed her, will their theory of how the crime occurred convince the jury?
When a jury listened to the inconsistencies in Eric's statements, the DNA and the blood splatter in his home, the witness testimony that said that the last time that Linda was saw alive was with Eric, a jury of his peers convicted him for the murder.
The judge sentences Eric to 15 years to life in prison.
But the story wasn't over. Eric appealed this conviction.
Ultimately, the court overturns his conviction in 2016.
They concluded that the trial judge had wrongfully barred the defense from bringing forward any other suspects.
When a conviction is overturned, prosecutors have the option of moving forward with the new trial. And that's always extremely difficult.
But the prosecutors won't need to go back to trial.
More than a decade after Linda's disappearance, Eric was ready to come clean for a price.
He wanted to cut a deal. He told prosecutors that he would confess to the crimes if they would give him a sweetheart deal. 11 years in exchange for telling them where they could find her body.
Despite the drastic reduction in sentence, the prosecutors make the deal.
Is it worthwhile to offer them a much lesser sentence for retrieval of the body? In most cases, the answer to that is yes. That closure aspect of it is, that's key.
Although what Eric tells them provides little comfort for Linda's family.
He said that after the murder, he wrapped Linda's body in a tarp and buried her in a shallow grave on the grounds of the decommissioned Oakland Army base.
It's a fairly desolate industrial area in Oakland, not that far from the freeway.
Detectives organize an extensive search for Linda's remains. But after weeks of painstaking effort, they come up empty-handed.
And they were unable to give the family closure or Linda the proper burial she deserved.
The fact that prosecutors allowed Eric's plea deal to stand only added to the family's disappointment.
He could be up for parole in 2025 and back out there. This is someone who killed his girlfriend of 2 years, the mother of 5 children.
But in May of 2022, just as the family is losing hope that Linda will ever be found, a construction crew working on the old Army base makes a shocking discovery.
They stumbled upon a shallow grave that contained a body.
It looked like Eric may have told the truth, after all.
Forensic testing confirms the body is that of Linda Alonzo.
It took 18 years, but Linda is no longer missing.
There isn't a word for this combination of relief and sadness that I'm sure the friends and family felt when the body was found. On one hand, their hope that she might still be alive is gone, but there's the relief of being able to finally put her to rest.
I'm hopeful that it has brought them a sense of peace that they did not otherwise have.
Abuse is never okay. If you or someone you love is in an abusive relationship, there is